Hey everyone, it's Todd, the Cybertruck truck guy, and today I'm going to be covering 15 of the most desirable Cybertruck features or accessories that we'd like Tesla to incorporate moving forward. Now, this is my list, but it's a list based on a lot of conversations and going through a lot of information in the forums, on my chat, in my comments, and just in general, my experience as a truck person. My goal for this is actually that we start to hone in on the features and accessories we're most interested in, and we actively start soliciting either Tesla or aftermarket manufacturers to meet the needs that we're asking to have met in the Cybertruck. For that reason, I'm going to be really curious for you to give me your top 2 or 3 that you'd like to see, so that if we decide to do a follow-up video, it's based on actual feedback we're getting from the community. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 15, a solution for people that want to use the Cybertruck to tow fifth wheel trailers. I put this as 15 because it's kind of a niche community, but it's a big niche community in pickup truck land. Using fifth wheel trailers is very popular for contractors, and it's very popular in the ag community, especially people that have horses and transport horses, but pretty much anything in farmland, they're big users of fifth wheel. Advantage of using a fifth wheel trailer is that you can put more weight on the trailer, because instead of putting the weight on the bumper, you're putting the weight in the bed. And secondly, trailers are more maneuverable when you're using them in fifth wheel configuration. They're just a great option for people trying to move big loads. The problem with the Cybertruck is that its sloped design makes it appear as if using a fifth wheel may not be something that can be used by the Cybertruck. So we'd like to encourage Tesla to take a look at this and see if A, it's an issue that they don't think is a problem, or B, if they could think about ways that either they could or aftermarket fifth wheel trailer providers could somehow accommodate fifth wheel trailers with the high slope sail design of the Cybertruck. Number 14, this one almost didn't make the list, and the only reason it did is because shortly after I'd kind of firmed up this list, GM showed a demonstration video with the new Hummer EV with something called crab mode. It highlighted something called four-wheel steering that will ultimately allow the Hummer to have much tighter turning radius than a normal pickup truck could have. Now, I mention this because that makes the second truck that is going to have some kind of enhanced steering mode. And so the other one being the Rivian. I have for a long time believed that some kind of pivot turn or tank turn ability of the Cybertruck is very doable with 3 motors. What I'd like Tesla to do is actually come on and say they're working on it. They have a plan for it. They're trying to come up with some kind of enhanced steering. Really what we're looking for is some version of either four-wheel steering or torque vectoring, where the wheels can turn at different speeds, allowing vehicles to turn in much tighter circumstances. Option 13. Most of the mid-grade tier trim levels and up do not offer standard 3-row seating in the front. They typically offer a large center console. Many people work out of their trucks, and the center console for a truck guy is like a purse for a gal or a backpack for a guy. It is essentially where we keep a lot of our gear, and we use it as a work surface. A lot of times we're putting clipboards or laptops or other things on that center console. So having the option to get rid of the middle seat and put in a center console would really be advantageous to a lot of people in truckland. And especially think of how large of a console you could have. Now that you don't have that transaxle shaft that's running the length with the hump that you have to accommodate with a traditional truck, you can really have a massive, highly functional console, and that would bring a lot of value to a lot of truck owners. Number 12, fold flat seats, front and back. So on the front seats, there wasn't a lot of the new F-150 that really got me excited, but one of the features that did was the ability of their front seats to recline fully, just like you can with a first-class airline seat. A lot of people that spend a lot of time in their trucks nap in their trucks. And having the ability to recline it 100% would be very, very valuable for people that are in their trucks all day, every day for long periods of time. We want full flat seats in the back so that we can use it more utilitarian. We want to be able to maximize our cargo use and hopefully, as we'll mention later, utilize a partial or full pass-through from the bed. And full flat seats or some variation of full flat seats allow us to maximize the cargo capacity of that rear seating area. Number 11. From this point forward, there's sort of a narrative to the features and accessories. Some of them build on other ones, so it's kind of important we give them in this order, regardless of how Tesla actually views it. So number 11 is the ability to mount front accessories on the Cybertruck. The most commonly requested are winches and plows. As a snow removal guy, I'm very interested in finding out whether or not we'll be able to mount plows on the front of the Cybertruck without violating the warranty. And winches were one of the most requested accessories from my impromptu survey. It's really important here to remember that the reason I want Tesla to work on this is the difference between being able to get something from the factory or from a factory approved vendor is the difference of including it in the financing and having to finance it yourself. That's why it's really important. The aftermarket may provide this stuff, but what we want is we want Tesla to do as much as possible to make financing these things into the financing of the Cybertruck as easy as possible. And the best way to do that is you do it when you purchase it. So the big question about the front end is there going to be anchor points? Are there hard points that we can tie off things like off-road bumpers and brush guards to? Will we be able to get a factory installed front winch? Winches are very big in the off-road community. They're almost a necessity if you're going to do any kind of serious off-roading. And making sure that that integrates well with the truck and it doesn't create any issues with this new design is really important in the truck community. Okay, number 10 is an absolute must. Whether Tesla figures out a way to do this or someone figures out aftermarket, there has to be a way to do a heavy-duty roof rack that actually goes above the bed of the truck. This is super critical because it does two things. First thing is it makes it much more practical for people to use it for work. There are big, bulky items like ladders and pipe and other things that go much easier on a rack so that we can use the bed to organize tools and smaller parts that need to be secured. Super critical. And the rack needs to be able to hold something like 600-800 pounds. And the other community that uses racks a lot are people on the recreation side. People that want to bring a canoe or a rooftop tent, other things that can go on the roof that leave the bed open to use for other features. Having a cargo rack that can hold a lot of weight and can be above the tonneau cover will be a significant accessory that people are looking for. And I've already heard of some people who are waiting to confirm that that's going to be a possibility before they place their reservation. Number 9, Tesla needs a full app store that allows full third-party integration. So one of the big things that people with trucks love to do is accessorize their truck. And a lot of accessories that they like to use are electric. Having some kind of third-party app store where we can control other devices from the Tesla console is going to be critical. Also, having a very, very good system that allows for integration of GPS and trail maps is a big deal. So far, it seems like they haven't opened it up fully to third-party developers. So we really need to see, as part of all the other requests that are going to be coming, we really need to see a robust third-party app store. Number 8, one of the most common requests were the ability to power exterior things, especially cameras and lights. And a lot of people wanted to integrate things into the control system of the Cybertruck. Right now, if you want to upgrade something that requires wiring, you actually have to run wiring from, say, a roof mount all the way up one of the support structures in order to get that. And then you have to run the wiring to some kind of an auxiliary switch or control mechanism to run auxiliary lights. Same thing with cameras. I want Tesla to think about doing external power outlets. Here's the thing. If you look at any computer, you can plug in all kinds of different devices through the USB connections. That's what we need for the Cybertruck. We need something that has multiple outlets where we can plug in third-party devices or Tesla devices and control them from auxiliary control panels or from the monitor. We want the Cybertruck to function like a heavy-duty computer with all of our peripheral components being able to be controlled from inside the cab. That allows us a tremendous amount of flexibility with the features and the peripherals that we're actually using with the Cybertruck. It will allow us to truly make the Cybertruck ours. It will also allow special use cases like police and fire and rescue the opportunity to do something as simple as put on the roof harness and plug it into the external power jack. We want to transform our relationship with the Cybertruck so that we can interact with any peripheral or any device on the external side of the truck as simple as plug and play. That leads us to point number 7. We want the ability to control all these things we put on the exterior with our preference for controls on the interior. Again, just like a computer, we want the ability to use our own control and monitor systems or supplement them, either by using Bluetooth or by using some type of hardwired configuration. Allow us to mount HUDs, allow us to mount auxiliary monitors and screens and switches, anything our brains can come up with. Make the Cybertruck truly function like a computer. Give us the freedom to control and interact with the Cybertruck with our peripheral devices, just like we already do with our computers. All right, that leads me to point number 6. You need to figure out a way to give us Starlink compatibility with the Cybertruck. Now I realize it will be probably compatible. What I'm asking is when you think about cargo racks and peripherals, that you think about giving us the ability to use Starlink. We often go into places where we don't have internet access. In fact, I actually use a rescue beacon that I wear on me when I go into the backcountry motorcycling, because we need to have a way to interact with the outside world in case there's an emergency, in case we need information, or just to enhance our experience off the grid. We want the ability to stay connected and stay in touch, and Starlink will give us the ability to do that. So we want you to be thinking ahead of how do we integrate the Starlink platform with the Cybertruck platform. Okay, now we get into the big ones, the things that a lot of people have expressed a lot of interest in. And the first thing we want to talk about is dynamic bi-directional charging. We're not so much talking about V2G here, although some people are very interested in that. What we're talking about is the ability to dynamically charge the Tesla battery from an auxiliary battery or from, if necessary, a generator. We don't want to have to stop in order to pull out a generator, plug it in, and charge up our Cybertruck in the backcountry. Or preferably, we'd like to have the ability to carry or tow auxiliary batteries with us so that when we go into the backcountry or when we're towing something, we can be confident that we have the range we need to get where we're going and get back again safely. So what we're really looking for is something that dynamically stretches the battery, especially when we're not in a place where charging is convenient. So that leads me to number 4, figuring out how to integrate a battery with a trailer in an efficient way. Now we understand that there's a zillion different kinds of trailer designs that you could come up with. What I really think you guys need to do is focus on building a couple of platforms that lets us integrate a battery into a trailer, either to provide power assist to the tires or an additional battery capacity to the Cybertruck itself. Something that is integrated and allows the Cybertruck to, again, extend its range dynamically. So the idea is you design a couple of basic platforms and build those and resell them to the trailer aftermarket. One of the biggest concerns of using the Cybertruck is the range when towing. One of the easiest ways to solve this problem is some kind of trailer battery integration that doesn't get in the way of actually pulling or carrying the stuff that we need to pull or carry with our trailer. So that's where it requires a bit of engineering and design work on the front end. But once you build some platforms, then aftermarket people could turn them into whatever they need to turn them into. Point number 3. It's hard to put the top 3 in any particular order because they came up so commonly and come up so commonly when we're talking about the Cybertruck, but we just need to say it. Number 3, an integrated solar solution. So there is a lot of interest in the solar-powered tonneau cover, but additionally there's interest in having an integrated solar system that we can buy with the Cybertruck that we can either mount on the cargo rack or comes in a portable format that we can actually use when we're off-grid. We want something that's expandable, that's plug and play, that's modular, and that's durable. It makes a lot of sense if Tesla actually designs a portable solar system that is optimized for the space constraints of the Cybertruck and the way that we're going to be using the Cybertruck. And it's also important that it be plug and play. We just want to be able, if we want to add watts to our system for our Cybertruck, if we want to go off grid for longer, be out there for more time or lower our transportation costs more by using solar, especially when we're off-roading or overlanding. We want it to be so simple that we can just plug them together and face them towards the sun and we're on our way. So we really want to see some sort of solar ecosystem for our Cybertrucks that includes those different applications. The tonneau cover sitting on the cargo carrier and actually portable ones we can erect when we're at our campsite. Okay, point number 2 wasn't originally on the list because I thought Tesla already said they were going to do this, but then at Battery Day, Elon made it sound like they weren't really sure, so need to put it in here. Full environmental control of the bed is one of the most requested, desired, and will be one of the most compelling features of the Cybertruck. I don't know how many people at Tesla actually camp or go off-roading and do stuff like that, but the ability to have an integrated camping area with environmental control is huge. Here in the Midwest, we can't go overnight for most of the summer and big parts of the winter unless we have an RV that has an air conditioner and a heater. Having a platform where we can go off-roading without a trailer, stop wherever we're at, and then just go to sleep in the bed in a comfortable, level environment will be an absolute game changer for using a vehicle recreationally. It will transform the Cybertruck into the most capable, functional, overlanding and off-road vehicle there is on the market. So that is super important. And number 2, we want to be able to use it with our pets. And so we want to be able to have climate control back there so that if our pets are along with us on the ride, they might be separated from us, but at least they'll be comfortable. Number 1, it isn't even close. Almost every comment, almost everybody, it's the most popular, most transformative, the thing that most people want to see Tesla do. A full pass-through from the bed to the cab. So we know that there is some plan to do a partial or a small pass-through, but having a full pass-through would completely transform our ability to use the Cybertruck as a camping vehicle. We would have all the space of the cabin and all the space of the bed without the burden or the cost of a camper. It would be transformative. It would be more secure. We would have the ability, if we needed to, if we were asleep, we could easily move up into the cab and get out of a dangerous situation. An example is, a lot of times I like to camp down on the river where flash flooding is an opportunity. Having the Cybertruck such that I could go right from the bed into the cab in the event that we started seeing some flash flooding will be very valuable. The same is true if you have a predator that has decided to wander around. Typically they're not a problem, but I would be a lot more comfortable if I didn't have to wait to see what the bear or the mountain lion or the wolf would do. I could just relocate. It's tremendous peace of mind, and it provides tremendous flexibility. And it's literally by far the most requested option that there is. Anyway, these are the top 15 Cybertruck accessories and features I think that most people want, and that if Tesla were able to deliver would provide the most value for the Cybertruck community. But if you disagree and you have ones that you think should be on this list, or you want to change the order, please put it in the comments. The point of this video is that we can start working together as a community, get the features and accessories we want. It's a starting point, and hopefully we can use this to start engaging with Tesla and the aftermarket to make the Cybertruck truly the most remarkable, most customizable, most capable, and most fun truck that's ever existed. Please consider subscribing, liking the video, and make sure to give your comments below.